What it is, my 10 piece of grease here, and yes, that's right. Peace is playing Destiny 2. Now, hold on, before you turn off that video and go, oh no, here we go with the Destiny versus Warframe. No, not going to do that. I think that they both have their merits. There are a lot of similarities. If you're one of those people out there that think, oh, they're nothing alike, well, I'm sorry to inform you, you are wrong. You're entitled to your opinion, but on this point, you are wrong. There are a lot of similarities between Destiny and Warframe. But my thought process is simple. Why not play both? Why does it have to be and or? Why can't it be play both? But I'll admit that in regards to Destiny 2, I've really been actually holding off on buying it. I actually played the Destiny 2 demo. I'm sorry, quote unquote beta. Understand that's just a trending term. There's a demo. It's not really a beta, but I played the Destiny 2 demo, and I just really was like, meh, I'm not liking it, not digging it. I told my buddy Zach, don't buy Destiny 2 on launch. It's just, there's no reason it should even exist. There's nothing in it worthwhile to make another game. This is just a cash grab by Bungie, nothing more. And my buddy bought it anyway. Needless to say, fast forward to about 3 to 4 weeks ago, my buddy Zach said, oh, here, you can have this Destiny 2. I'm never going to play it. I hate it. I said, oh, okay, well, you're going to swear it off forever, you sure? So he gave it to me. So, Zach, if you watch this, thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. But then they had in the PlayStation Store a bundle for the expansion 1 and 2, the Curse of Osiris and Warmind, for $9.99 for the pair. So $4.99 each. And I thought, man, why not buy them? Right? Because as it stands right now, for me personally, that means I'm only $9.99 into Destiny, so why the hell not buy it? So I did. I have been grinding the living snot out of Destiny 2. Understand, I'm not done with Warframe. I'm not walking away from Warframe. I'm taking a break. I'm getting to that burnout point. I got burned really badly by the Rhino unbolting in Warframe. Combine that with the lack of content that we've been in for a long time now. And I found myself getting really kind of burnt out and bitter. So this is normal. I've been playing Warframe off and on for over 4 years now. I'm not going to walk away from the game. I love it. But there are times that you need to just stop and go, okay, I need a break. And so that's why I'm here on Destiny 2. So for about the past 3 to 4 weeks, I have been grinding the living snot out of Destiny 2. My friend Don, for over the holidays, actually bought me the Destiny 2 Legendary Edition, which, Dawn, if you watch this, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Dawn, I got her into Destiny 1 a little bit, and she liked it, but never really kind of delved into it the way a lot of people do. So she actually bought me for the holidays the Destiny 2 Legendary Edition. I appreciate it, Dawn. Thank you very much. Not being an ungrateful, D-bag. But I could have saved you some money since I already had the basic game. I already had expansion 1 and 2. But hey, I'll take it. So here we are in the Black Armory. Should you buy Destiny 2? Listen, I'm working on a video right now. The state that Destiny 2 launched at, where it's at now with Forsaken, whether or not you should buy it. But this video is specifically about my thoughts and opinions of the Black Armory. Okay, so I am currently at light level 565, okay? And I started the Black Armory quest at 565, and the Black Armory expansion is in the annual pass. So me personally, I was really excited about some new content, because in regards to Destiny 2, just to get your light level up, you end up having to just grind all the weeklies over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I need to do Vanguard Nightfall on my Titan, get 100,000 score, and I need to hit the Dreaming City, but my weeklies for the most part are done. But this is what you have to do to get your light level up. You have to grind the snot out of these things over and over again, non-stop. And I've got 3 characters. So, as you can imagine, the grind is even bigger for me.
Approach. I have no time for shyness.
And needless to say, I was really excited about something new to do with Black Armory. Now, listen, I'm not a Bungie, like, I don't hang on every word that Bungie has to say. I look at a game, I say, oh, there's a new expansion coming, and so I'm like, cool, new content for me to play. Yeah, I'm at light level 565. If you don't know what that means, I'll put it to you this way. At light level 565, I started the Black Armory quest. And the Black Armory quest is very cut and dry, very uninteresting, very fetch quest-y, in the sense that it's about go get a frame, go get this depleted core, go kill enemies for this, now go kill these enemies for this, now go kill these enemies for this. And then once you do that, go back to Ada. And once you go back to Ada, you then are told to go and light the forge, okay? Which, in case you're wondering, the forge is located over here in the tunnels just outside the Sunken Isles. That's where the forge is located. If you haven't gotten to that point yet, there you go. That's where it's at. But I get to the forge, and I'll show you the Blunder Forge here in a moment. And I go through all the Cabal, I kill all the Cabal thinking that it's part of the quest on my way to the forge, and I get into the forge room, and then I see this forge thing, and I'm like, okay, so this is the forge. It's kind of weird, I guess, that the Cabal have it, which I'll get into the problems that I have with the forge at this point, the Black Armory, I should say, more, but I'm just giving you the kind of breakdown of where I'm at. So that I went to light the forge, I went to interact with the forge, and lo and behold, I'm thrown into matchmaking. And I'm like, like, why am I in matchmaking? All I want to do is light this forge. I want to, get this party started, get my cool weapon, because it's new content, it's new, and I want it. So that's what well, lo and behold, if you are unfamiliar with what the Black Armory is, the Forge is, it is basically a blind well experience, like in the Dreamy City. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what that is, the best way that I could really put it is kind of, it's a PvE style of Crucible. Think of it as almost kind of like a Gambit match, if you will. But it's not. And it's just kind of a, there we go, public event. That's the best way to describe it. It's basically a public event, but there's matchmaking, right? And so once you get into the matchmaking, you're like, okay, what's this all about, right? Let me inlate these enemies real quickly. Sorry, guys. I know the last thing you're going to sign in for is to watch somebody kill enemies. I know it can get kind of boring. Give me just uno momento to deal with these guys, and we will be back on task. Oh, he totally screwed up my... That's no bueno, man. That's no bueno. Oh. Got that shot up just a little too late. Did you just... Alright. Apologize about that. Okay. So, once you complete all the fetch quests for the Black Armor, you're brought here. And when you interact with it, you were then brought into a matchmaking, which... Actually, I'm unsure. Yeah, there. You're brought into your matchmaking here. And here's the problem, though. I went in actually at like 550-ish at first when I went to interact with the Forge. And I got thrown into matchmaking, was paired up with a couple of guys that were in a squad together. And I had no idea what was going on. I didn't watch any videos on it. And in the process, I realized I was running the Thunderlord at the time in that 550-ish range. And even the basic Cabal, I was hitting them with a Thunderlord, fully revved up. And I was literally doing 0 damage. No damage whatsoever. It just said immune, 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 immune across the board. Like I could do no damage to the enemies, even at 550-ish. Okay. But the basic premise is there's going to be 3 waves. You have to throw these energy orbs at the foundry, the forge, excuse me. You light the forge, and that's how you go about doing it. So that's the basic process. However, the power level, I think the base power level to actually get into it's like 605 or 610. You have 3 waves. Each wave is naturally progressively more difficult. And up to the point of like 630, I think, unless they changed it. So that's basically the requirement. So if you're not, 610 to 630, you're probably going to have a hard time getting through it, unless you're like MLG or get carried, all right? Because you can't damage these enemies. Like I said, at 550-ish, I couldn't do any damage to these guys. And no, those Cabal that you saw there before I match made are not the same Cabal. They're not the ones you're getting matched with. So don't think just because you can kill the Cabal around the forge that you can kill the Cabal in the forge if you're 550-ish, because you can. Okay. So first and foremost, let me break down the problems that I have with it. Now, I realized that Bungie had said that there isn't going to be any more story, any kind of actual story missions. Forsaken was great. I really enjoyed Forsaken. My biggest really kind of pet qualm that I have about Forsaken is that instead of Forsaken ending with Ikora and Zavala and Hawthorne and all these other people kind of standing around in a room together listening to Cade's actual last words, that's how it should have ended. Instead, it ends with you collecting chests and hearing his last words, and it's kind of like, yeah, the story was so great. It should have had a better wrap-up, for me personally. It's just my 2 cents. But needless to say, for the most part, like I said, I thought Forsaken was great, so I really wanted to see some more story, at least a little bit, and there's just none of that in Black Armory. The other problem that I have is, granted, while I didn't buy Black Armory, a friend bought it for me, the point here is that when you buy an expansion, you expect to get to play it. And if you look at my light level at 565 here, that ain't happening. I have got probably a good 3 weeks of grinding. This is in between taking care of my daughter and going to work and all the other demands that I have on my time. I have at least probably 3 weeks of nonstop grinding the same stuff I was already grinding for weeks now just to get my light level up. And it's like, in my opinion, it should have been handled a little bit better, especially in this world of instant gratification. You buy something, you want to touch it, feel it, smell it, In regards to Black Armory, however, yeah, that's a real problem. Because you can't. You can't do it. How I personally feel that Bungie should have handled this, for the initial drop of Black Armory, all right, anybody that bought it, say the cap of, say that 500 to 600 level, there should have been a particular type of forge matchmaking where at lower levels the gear you're going to get to drop isn't as great as the normal level stuff, but at least you would have had new content and you would have been getting new loot, and then that way as you and then Bungie could have ended that. Bungie could have said, okay, look, because they did that on raids. They have normal raids and then they have prestige, right? They did that in D1. They did it on the raids for D2. That's what should have happened with the forge. You have a normal level forge, then you have the higher level forge. We'll call it the prestige level of forge. For at least the very first week at the drop of Black Foundry, that's how it should have been handled. That way all of us, because like I said, I just started playing this game 3 to 4 weeks ago. Literally 3 to 4 weeks ago is when I started playing this game. And yet, unfortunately, I'm only at 565. And there's new content, but I can't play it. Even a fully, even a loaded Thunderlord, which obviously I haven't infused it up at this point. But like I said, I was around 550-ish. Even a 550-ish Thunderlord, the enemies were immune to it. It did 0 damage to the base. I'm not even talking about Centurions. I'm talking about the basic Cabal enemies. Okay? Couldn't do any damage to them. So, yeah, how Black Armory was handled was very poor. It should have had a normal level, at least for the first time. At least for the initial drop of Black Armory. That way, those of us that just started playing the game, there's new content, we can actually participate. I'm not asking for the same, great gear that the normal level Forge is giving. I'm just saying, let me play the new content, right? I bought it. I paid for it. I've been grinding for the last several weeks for, nonstop for, to get my light level up. And yet you're dropping new content and you're saying, oh, no, you can't play. It's just really kind of a kick in the nuts, to drop new content and then exclude, a large majority of your player base. I mean, the whole idea of Forsaken was to bring players back to the game, bring players back into the folds, and then to drop Black Armory and exclude them and say, oh, you're 550? No. You can't play. So it's not a very good thing for the community because it's new content that you've excluded us from, and we just can't play it. Now again, listen, I'm not asking for the top-notch, best-level loot and gear that the normal Forge drops. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm not asking for the in-game level loot. It's not what I'm asking for. Okay? What I'm asking for is if you have a normal level of the Forge, then we would be getting some type of new loot that's better than what we have, but not the best stuff in the game. Like the normal level Forge, the high level Forge, right? That way, we could have participated, we could have played, you could have put up a notification that, hey, for the first, 2 weeks or 3 weeks of Black Armory drop, we will have a normal level Forge to give you time to grind up, but after that point, there will be no normal level Forge at that point, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Problem solved. The players that have just started playing the game can get in and play the new content, get some of the new loot, albeit not as good as the regular, the high-level in-game loot. You would have brought people back into the folds to play the game. They would have been able to play the new content. Yeah. Win, win, win. Straight across the board. So yeah, this is not good for the Destiny community as a whole because it's still reeling from Bungie's antics and schemes. And we're coming off of the whole Activision saying Destiny 2 needs more monetization. So we've got that threat looming over our head. The last thing you want to do is start excluding new players coming into this game, as you have myself, right? Like, why would you exclude me? I'm trying to play your game. I'm trying to be a part of the community. But yet you're going to exclude me from the new content. And it just feels bad, man. Feels bad. And that brings us to just the basic issues, right? The basic issues of the Black Armory. Okay. So I've heard several people say it. I am going to say it myself because I don't understand it. The Black Armory is located in the tower. What? Like, what? Like, what? How? Listen, Ada hates Guardians. She hates Guardians. But yet she's going to set up shop where Guardians reside? Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Just on that alone. Then, if the tower was... Because a lot of people are trying to make the excuse, well, the tower was destroyed and they rebuilt it. Okay, so who the hell were the contractors that said, oh, this is a thing. We're going to build this black market, firearm store in the tower with this person that hates Guardians for the Guardians. What? Now, I've heard some people offer the really poor excuse of, well, no, the tower is a completely different part of the tower, and Ada was already in this part of the tower, and we moved into her part of the tower. What? What? How big is the tower? Is the tower the size of freaking Manhattan? There are so many parts to the tower that people can actually work and live in the tower without you ever knowing they exist there? How big is the freaking tower? Because from my perspective, it's not the size of freaking Manhattan. It's not. It's not the size of it. So I don't buy that excuse. And if that's the legitimate excuse that's being offered up, bad. It's bad. It's a horrible excuse. Horrible excuse. Like I don't even understand it. Like how is that a thing? Excuse me. So that's the first part. That's the first problem that I have. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you could have put the tower like anywhere. I mean, you could have literally put it in, you know, you could have put it anywhere. You could have put it on the EDZ, right? You could put it on the Tangled Shore. Yeah, I mean, you could have put it on any planet. You could have put it in Titan. You know, I mean, it would have been cool. It would have been so cool to have to go into the submersible to get to the Black Tower, right? Under the waves of Titan. Tell me that would not be just the coolest, right? You get a Black Armory, you get the Black Armory tag, a ticket from Spider, and then it says go to Titan. You go to Titan, then you have to go into the lower levels of Titan. Then you climb into a submersible, and you have this really cool cutscene where you're under the waves with all these gigantic sea life, going to a different part of the arcology, the New Pacific, you know, and you go into it, and you're underwater in this huge underwater-like store with Ada. Now, come on. I don't care who you are. That would be cool, right? That would be awesome. And you know, it'd be okay. It would make sense. Yeah, unfortunately, having it in the tower, I just, you know, this is the same type of excuse I hear people when you say, because I made the complaint that I had, and it's the same type of thought process. So hear me out. It's the same complaint that I had about not having sparrows. In Destiny 2, the main campaign, I have to go from Earth to Nessus to Io. No, excuse me. On the main campaign, I have to go from Earth to Titan to Nessus to Io and then back to Earth again. Running everywhere, and I can't get a sparrow. Can't get a sparrow. And literally the excuse that people use to defend this is that, well, the tower was destroyed. Really? So your excuse for me not getting a sparrow and having to run everywhere looking like a dumbass while people are running around with these cool sparrows, your excuse for it is that the tower was destroyed and for some reason the Cabal were on a sparrow destroying rampage, but yet you're telling me that Amanda Holliday has an endless supply of tanks falling out of her butt, but I can't get a rusty crusty sparrow. Really? And at no point when my Guardian is running everywhere on foot like a dumbass, with all these missions that you're doing with Amanda, you know, in tangent, at no point did my Guardian say, you know, hey Amanda, is it possible for me to get, you know, a rusty crusty sparrow, please? You know, I mean, you know, instead of having to run everywhere, is it possible? I mean, in Destiny 1, we had a specific quest for the sparrow, and I kept waiting for it. I ran through Earth. I ran through Titan. I ran through Nessus. I ran through Io. I ran back through Earth again. Running everywhere like a dumbass. No sparrow. Can't get one. Don't get one till the end of the campaign. But yet, Amanda Holliday has an endless supply of tanks falling out of her butt. Right? Like, I can have as many damn tanks as I want. Sparrow? Oh, no. No. The Cabal went on a sparrow destroying rampage. They left the tanks. They thought the tanks were okay. Just the sparrows. I mean, come on. I mean, come on, son. Like, it doesn't even make sense. Like, the Cabal, like, oh, we can't ride Sparrow. We hate Sparrow. We destroy Sparrow. Tank okay. I mean, it just doesn't make any logical sense. That's the same problem. I mean, obviously the answer to the whole Sparrow conundrum, in case you were wondering, was monetization. This was a way for Sparrow to say, you look like a dumbass running everywhere. You can't get a Sparrow. So pay us for a Sparrow. That's the whole reason for it. That's why they don't give you a Sparrow to the end of the campaign. You have to run it. I actually had a person tell me, you don't know what you're talking about, because you can get a Sparrow from the Eververse Ingrams. So stop bitching. I said, really? So you got Eververse Legendary Ingrams at level 12? Yeah, like you could get, wait, level 12? No. Okay. So maybe you should shut up, pull your head out of your ass, and realize that until you get to the level cap, you're not getting Ingrams from Eververse. Alright? And last time I checked, you're not getting a Sparrow to drop for blue or green emblems. Ingrams, excuse me. Not gonna happen. Alright? Believe me, I have 3 characters I had to grind up to level 50 the hard way. All 3. Right? So, yeah. Anyway, but this is the same mentality and the same excuse for the whole thing with the black armor being in the tower. Well, the black tower was the tower was destroyed, so we just left that tower. I went to a different tower that's all really nice and neat, and Ada was there. Dude, there's not multiple towers. There's one tower, and last I checked, it's not the size of Manhattan. So there, the fact that this would exist in the tower just doesn't make any logical sense. Along with the fact that Ada, who hates Guardians, is going to live in close proximity to the one group of people she hates the most, Guardians. It just doesn't make any logical sense. Like I said, they could have put the Black Armory anywhere, and it would have made more sense and been cooler than just putting it in the basement of the tower. It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, again, I'm not a huge lore hound. I don't go crazy on lore. I don't read every little tiny bit of information. Yeah, I don't do it. So those are my problems and my thoughts and opinions on Black Armory. Oh, one last thing to say. The Black Armory is really uninteresting. It's really kind of a yawn fest. If you like Fallout fetch quests, like, oh, your settlement's in trouble again, from Preston, you'll love Black Armory. It's really mindless. It's really pointless. It's really menial. It's irrelevant. Go kill this thing. Kill these things. Kill that thing. Kill these things. Kill these things. Go kill more things. You'll love it. But there's no meat and potatoes to it. There's really nothing interesting to the quest. The most interesting character is Ada. In the quest, well, let me rephrase it. She's the only character in Black Armory quest. Me personally, I haven't gotten through the Forge, so I don't know if her disposition improves. I don't like her. But honestly, if any kind of storyteller can make me feel an emotion about a character, whether it's I hate that character, whether it's I love that character, then they did a good job. And I don't like Ada. I just don't like her. In fact, I was making the comment, I hope at some point in this Black Armory quest she does something like Diabolical and we have to hunt her down and kill her. That'd be awesome. But if a writer can make me feel one way or another about a character, they did a damn good job, right? They did a damn good job. So, and I have to give the writer credit for that. They made me dislike Ada, like, right from the beginning. Disliked her. Still don't like her. But yeah, the story, there's nothing there. There's nothing interesting to see. There's nothing interesting to really do in regards to story. Coming off of Forsaken, I really hoped... And don't get me wrong, I'm not looking for like a full Forsaken story experience in Black Armory. I'm not looking for that. I understand that that's too hard for Bungie. Well, they said story content was too hard in the past, so I'm assuming that's what they're sticking with it. It's too hard at this point for them to do story content. So I'm not asking for like some huge, fully fleshed out, 12-hour story experience. Would I love that? Yeah, I would love that. That'd be freaking awesome. But this is, I don't think it's going to happen with Destiny, so Destiny 2, or any Destiny game for that matter. But yeah, the fact that I can't access it, I can't do it, I've been excluded from it when I'm trying to get into the game, being excluded from new content that I already paid for, yeah, it's not a really good feeling. Feels bad, man. So, yeah, listen, if you're debating about buying the annual pass and you're still grinding your light level up, do not bother buying the annual pass. There's nothing, literally, the annual pass adds nothing to the game that's relevant to you, right? Nothing. At this point, I would wait until you get to light level 600. Then, and only then, once you get to light level 600, then buy the annual pass, which will then give you will take the cap, the light level cap off, and you can start grinding from 600 to 610 and start working on the Black Armory quest. Yeah, at my point, I've got 3 characters, and all 3 characters, my highest level character is my Titan. And so for me, at this point, the Black Armory might as well not even exist, because honestly, I can't do it. Right? You're looking at my Warlock at 537, my Hunter at 542, and my Titan's at 565. My Titan's my highest level character, and he's still not high enough light level to actually do it. So yeah, if you want my opinion, if you want my advice, wait till you get to light level 600 before you buy the annual pass. Plus, by that point, I'm willing to bet you the annual pass price will drop, particularly with the mixed reviews of the Black Armory at this point. So you're pretty much stuck grinding the same weekly missions you've already been grinding for Black Armory. We've been kind of excluded, like I said. Mistake is a misstep by Bungie. Yeah, pretty typical for them, unfortunately. And ultimately, they should have kind of thought this out a little bit more. Had, for the initial launch of Black Armory, for the first couple of weeks, had a normal level for people that were grinding their level up. That could help them increase their level a little bit more, let them experience the new content, let them get some of the new loot. It would have kept those players like myself that are brand new to the game, still interested in the game. As it stands now, I'm kind of stucco having to grind the same weekly missions, and I probably got a good, just on my Titan, I probably have a good 565 at 610, 620, 630. Yeah, I've probably got a good 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks of grinding. Listen, I work a full-time job. I've got responsibilities, so I can't sit around for 8 hours a day. I wish I could. Listen, if you got that luxury, dude, I'm jealous. I really am. I don't have that luxury. So anyway, I hope that brings some insight. My personal opinions on Black Armory. Like I said, I haven't been able to completely play through it. I've been excluded from it, unfortunately. But from what I'm seeing from at this point, and some of the other people I've talked to that have been through the Forge, nothing really happens. Supposedly Ada's tone changes when you start getting materials for her after your first few Forge runs. But hey, it sounds like from what everyone's telling me, it seems pretty minor at that point. But anyway, hope you guys liked this video. Hope you found it informative. Hope you found it humorous. But needless to say, I should be back onto Warframe content hopefully soon, because I heard that in regards to Warframe, we could potentially get Fortuna here in a few days. If that's the case, that's awesome, because I will bail on Destiny 2 and go back to Warframe. So anyway, until next time, peace and grease.